Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting adventure. Today we officially retire the Sky guitar. This guitar has an absolutely atrocious neck, a tremolo system that won't stay in tune, and it's really just not worth keeping around anymore. I'm not going to get rid of it, but I'll probably mount it as wall art as I joked in my video about it. The only reason that I kept it hooked up to anything was I really liked the humbucker that I had installed. It's a quad rails humbucker, so it has 4 rails on it. I have a white Mexican Stratocaster that has a bad humbucker. I just don't like the way it sounds. I already have plenty of triple single coils, so I want something a little different. I want my Strat to kick you in the nuts when you put it down on the bridge position. So I'm going to take this quad rails humbucker out of this guitar, and I'm going to throw it in the Strat. Normally I would not suggest putting hot rails in a Stratocaster, but given this is my 3rd or 4th Stratocaster, I think it's probably a good idea. So what we're looking at here is the internals of this. If you remember, we put blue tape on it because we didn't have a cover. But this is it right here. This is the cord for that that humbucker. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some snips here to get the humbucker out of this guitar. I have this set right here of snippers. It came with a soldering kit that I bought. And so basically we just need to figure out where we need to cut. So this red right here, this is the hot. So this is the one that connects to the switch. Okay, so that's cut. And then the only other thing we need to cut is right here. We've got our green and our bare. Those two will go to ground. So I'm just gonna cut right there. There we go. That should get us what we want. See if I can get it out. Uncoil it from this monstrosity of a guitar. There we go. It's free. All right. I'm going to flip the guitar over and reposition the camera so that we can actually get the pickup out of the guitar. Okay, as you may know, with a Floyd Rose style tremolo, it is a pain in the ass to change the strings and replace the strings. Normally I always say snip the strings if you're going to work on something under the pickguard or under the pickup. But on a Floyd Rose, sometimes it's just not worth the trouble, and since they're meant for extreme bends, you can grab the trem arm like this and just pull it back. It loosens them all. Hopefully enough to pull this out. Even though this guitar is not really going to be used for anything anymore, I still hate the idea of even thinking about taking these strings off. So I'm going to unscrew this. So the way this works is this pickup is mounted to this ring, and this ring is mounted to the guitar. So the general idea is if I unscrew the ring from the guitar, I should be able to pull the whole thing out, including the humbucker. So let's try it. Now I am the one who installed this pickup in this guitar, so I don't expect any surprises here unless the guitar gremlins got inside and did something to it. So it's very simple. It's like this on a lot of instruments. Basically anything that doesn't have a pick guard is probably going to have a similar setup to this, where it's a mounting ring that's screwed into the guitar, and then the humbucker is screwed directly in to the ring. Now that it's free, you can see it, it moves. So I'm going to try my best. Let's see if I can pull this out. I don't know if it will fit. It will! Look at that. Comes right out. Isn't that awesome when things work that way? Alright, now I just need to make sure that I get the cable out without breaking anything. That could not have really gone any smoother, could it? There it is. Quad rails humbucker. I don't know what it is about this thing. I absolutely love it. It's got 4 rails here instead of pole pieces. The idea being that the magnet is evenly applied across the spectrum, so you don't have to worry so much about individual pole placement, and it is staggered, quote unquote, because it's higher here and lower here. I really like the sound of this. It's unique. Definitely something to put in an alternate guitar, or if you're trying to make like a metal shred machine. But yeah, check it out. Looks like it's got 3 bar magnets on the bottom. I really like the way this pickup sounds. So I'm gonna go grab the Strat and throw it on the bench next. So here it is, my white Mexican Stratocaster. I don't even know where to begin with this guitar. Let's go ahead and take the pickguard off. When I turned 16 on my birthday, my parents asked me what I wanted for my birthday. All I wanted for my birthday was a white Stratocaster. I had a red Squire, and I really wanted something that said Fender. I wanted a Stratocaster. Now, it was the only guitar that I owned at the time. It was red Affinity, and it said Squire Strat. It did not say Stratocaster. Being a 16-year-old, you know, it mattered a whole lot to me that it said Stratocaster and that it was a real Fender. So I just told them that's all I want for my birthday. And at the time, and I might be wrong, let me know if I'm wrong, but I believe at the time MSRP for a Mexican Strat was somewhere in the range of $299. Not like today where the cheapest one you can get is about $800. Anyway, so, you know, I told them that, and on my birthday I opened my present and they'd gotten me a white Les Paul Custom. And that is a much more expensive guitar, much more than I expected. And I told them, you know, the one I wanted was a lot cheaper, and I'd be okay if we went back and got the Stratocaster. And my dad said, okay, let's go. So we went back to the store, and I picked this one up off the rack. And I remember at the time he said, since you told us that the one you wanted was cheaper, we decided we'll get you something else too. What do you want? And I picked the Jimi Hendrix Crybaby wah pedal. I still have it. I actually just recently had to work on it because it stopped working after all these years. But yeah, so that's kind of where this guitar came from. Over the years, this is the original pickguard. These are the original single coils. It's been left in storage. It's gotten soaking wet. It's been through everything with me over all these years. I was never happy with the bridge. The humbucker that was in here died over time. The magnets got weak. Pole pieces rusted out, and it stopped working. So I've tried every kind of pickup imaginable here in this bridge position. Right now, I just have this cheap one in here because I've parted things out across all my other instruments. So really, what I want to do with this one is I want to take this very, very unique quad rails humbucker and throw it in here, just so that I have something unique that I can put in there. So now that we've got the pickguard off, let's take a look inside. Now that we've got it rotated here to where we can actually work on it, this will be a really simple thing to do here. This is not, I'm not doing coil split or anything like that. Like I said, I'm only putting this bizarro humbucker in here because I already have, you know, so many other guitars. I have a ton of triple single coil Strats, and you know, I wanted something that had a humbucker, and this humbucker is kind of a crazy humbucker, and you know, I thought it would add some character to this guitar that I've had for so long. As you can see inside, I've plated the whole thing and whatnot. We're just going to do the same thing we did before, so we're just going to snip. So I'm going to take these, I'm going to cut, this is the ground, let's cut that off. Come on, there we go. And the only other connection on this humbucker, now this tape is not to hold it on, it's to keep the metal pieces from touching. This is an import switch. The super switch, not super switch, the 5-way switch that came with this guitar is long gone and long busted. So this one was laying around at the time, so I threw it in here. Anyway, all of these are so close together that I put this blue tape here to keep the metal contacts from touching and shorting itself out. So let's pull that back. Okay. If we look here, here is our connection right here, green. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. If I can get it. Flip it around actually. There we go. So it's free. No more connections. Let's flip it back over so that we can take it out. Now, as I mentioned a second ago, when you have a pickguard, you're going to have the pickup screwed directly into the pickguard. So Super, super, super easy to do. You just unscrew it. Boom. Do it again on this side. Thing about Fenders and Fender pick guards is Fender pick guards don't have a hole in the middle for a humbucker, typically. They have one in the middle on one side and then two different heights on the other side. That's why this is angled slightly, to force it to fit. And to make it fit, I had to use an oversized, very, very long screw. I don't know if you can see that. I had to be able to get the screw to go down and then into a center hole on the humbucker, because the humbucker does not have a hole off to the side. Again, they make adapters for that, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Yeah, there's better ways to do a lot of this stuff, but the object of this channel and of the way that I do things here, we just do what we can with what we got. Sure, it'd be nice if I had an adapter. It would make it a lot easier to mount these pickups, but, you know, I like to be able to do things that you can do yourself without having to buy anything special. Everything I have here is just stuff that came with the guitar or random screws that I had laying around. So there we go. I got that out. And this is just a cheap Chinese humbucker. Get that centered here. Does not have adjustable pole pieces. It's pretty bad. I didn't do a sound sample for you because I don't think you wanted to hear farts coming out of your speaker. That's essentially what it sounded like. Okay, so now we need to mount this pickup. The first thing we need to do is actually take it out of the mounting ring. So let's go ahead and do that. When you unscrew a humbucker, the springs will tend to fly out, fly everywhere. There's one. Let's get the other one now. Make sure you can see that. Still trying to get used to this tripod and the best angle to shoot this stuff in to where you can see it. So I apologize if I'm off center sometimes here. But I am able to actually do this stuff on camera now instead of having to do cuts. I can have both hands free to do stuff. So there we go. We got it out. So to install this, I'm simply going to place it in the cavity right here. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your screw, you're going to pop it through this hole here. So we'll do this side first. And just screw that in there. And you don't want to shred this screw hole. If you shred this screw hole, make it too big, you're not going to be able to adjust your pickup height, and that can be kind of a disaster. So let's just do it like that. This is going to be hard to show, but you want to take your screw and you want to push it against, take your spring, push it against the screw. And then you want to take your pickup and you want to, this is very hard to explain. If you've not done this before, it's very, very hard to explain. You want to get your screw screwed in as much as you can, like this. Okay. Then you want to get your spring and you want to kind of set it on there like that. And then you want to take your pickup and you want to push it down like that. And you want to line everything up all in one motion. So there, I've got it lined up. This is the hard part. You got to try to screw it in. You almost need 3 hands to do this. You want to try to get it to catch. If you can get it to catch in that screw hole with the spring, then you're good. It does not want to go in. I'm trying my best here. There, I think I might have got it. There we go. There. Success. I got the screw in there with the spring. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and we're going to try to get the other one in. Now this one does not have a spring because the screw is so fat that it's got enough resistance in itself to not need a screw.
So I'm just going to kind of do this by hand here. And the reason I got such a long screw is because I need to bend it to get it to fit in where the hole is. So let me get that in there a little bit, little ways. Okay. This is very difficult to capture on camera, and I apologize for that. Almost got it. Okay. Basically, the name of the game here is just get it to catch. If you can get it to catch, then you are good. Get in there. Okay, it's in there. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these up, and then I'll come back. Okay, I got it in. I ended up just using the screws that this pickup came with, the smaller screws, as you can see. Now, it is a little crooked, but that's okay with me. I don't really care. It's a Hot Rails pickup, so it doesn't matter quite as much that it's directly lined up. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is make some solders. So, the green and woven here, or bare I should say, these are ground. So that means they just go to, like right here for example. The red goes to the switch. And that's it. So I'm going to heat up my soldering iron, and we'll get that done. Now, when you're soldering, the most important thing is safety. And I always wear a mask when I solder. You don't want to inhale the liquid fumes when you are doing this. So I just take my mask and I put it on my face like this. And now I'm safe. Okay, now this might be hard to see, but typically you want to get your solder. So while your soldering iron is getting hot, you want to take your wires and you want to put them where they go. So I threaded it through where it goes here. And I laid the ground here. And I put this here just to hold it down a little bit. You don't want to try to be, holding it and soldering at the same time, because you're going to typically be holding the solder. So, iron's ready. Let's give it a go. So what you want to do is you want to heat the metal first and then put the solder. It's the best way to do it. So let's heat the metal and then apply the solder. Okay. Let's see if that did it there. Try it one more time here. There we go. Okay. That looks good. And now we're going to do the ground. Same thing. Heat the metal, apply the solder. Good idea to check it before you put everything away. This one seems good. How's this one? That one seems good too. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to take our tape. Well, before we do that, I actually want to separate this a little bit. So you don't want any of these metal things touching each other, like I said earlier. So I'm just going to make sure that nothing is touching here. And it isn't. That's good. Let's kind of push this out a little bit. Best we can. Without breaking it. There we go. Then I'm going to take this tape and I'm just going to put it right here. And the only reason I'm putting this tape is to prevent those contacts from touching each other. There we go. And I am going to take one more little piece of tape and put it, there's a joint here that I want to cover. Again, you should never tape anything to hold it together, but you can use tape to keep stuff from touching each other. All right, the last test is the tap test to make sure that all the pickups work. So
let's go turn the amp on and plug this in.
Okay, we have it plugged in. We have the amp on. You can probably hear the buzzing. Let's flip it around. Get everything kind of where it goes. Okay. See how it works here. Oh, looks like it works.
So I'll go ahead and screw it in, string it up, and we'll do a sound sample.
So there it is. I really like the way that it turned out. I think it sounds great. I like having a Strat that can do something a little bit different, and I think it gives it a very, very distinct sound. It's really hard to describe. That's why I did a sound test to show it to you. But now I've got a Strat that can do metal, I guess. So it was pretty fun to do. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what I do, please subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.